Hi guys, welcome to Entertainment. On this episode, we are going to be checking out what is the importance of working on the field. Now, this is going to be one of the most important and impactful videos of this channel because our channel is dedicated to entrepreneurship. And working on the field is one of the most important requirements of an entrepreneur to upscale his business. If you're a student who is still studying in college but you aspire to be an entrepreneur, this is going to be a very important video for you. If you're a student who just graduated and you're still in two minds as to which company to join, this is going to be a very important video for you. Or if you're an entrepreneur who is looking on upscaling his business, this is again going to be a very important video for you. Right? Let me talk to you about my personal experience. Now, working on the field today in India is honestly not considered the most respectable thing to do, and this is a tragedy. Right? Today, if you're opting for a desk job, or if you're opting for an IT company, or opting for a finance firm, and if you're given your own cubicle with your laptop and a couple of spreadsheets to work on, that is considered glamorous, that is considered respectable, and that is something that your parents push you for. Now, honestly, working on the field today is considered a job. If nobody is giving you a job, you work on the field. Or if probably you're not good enough, you didn't get good grades in school, you work on the field. Honestly, that's not true. That was probably the case 10 to 15 years back, but today that's really not the case. Right? Telling you from my personal experience, I started working on the field at the age of 21. I started going door to door, I started going office to office, doing B2B, B2C campaigns, and that really changed my perception of life. That really changed my perception of who I am and what is my purpose of life. Usually when we go to school, or with the college we are in, or the neighborhood we stay in, we usually hang out with the same socioeconomic background that we are born in. The people who we interact with are from the same socioeconomic background, and we don't really see a lot of variation. The school we go to has people from the similar background, so does the college, so does our neighborhood. Now, the problem with this is we really neglect to see the real problems or the real challenges or the real luxury faced by people. Now, for an example, I can tell you when I started working out on the field, it was a very delightful experience for me. Now, when I had gone to college, I had mingled with a very different group of people who came usually from the upper middle class, who had a good amount of luxury, a good amount of cash flow with them all the time. Everybody had a car, everybody had a comfortable lifestyle. We went partying approximately 3 times a week, spending a good amount of money. And I honestly thought most people in my country lived that way, right? But I was really wrong. When I started working out in the field, I actually saw people living a life way better than me. I honestly saw people living a life way worse than what I was living, and that was a true eye-opener for me. Right? Working on the field gave me a true experience of meeting people who I could never imagine. I met so many celebrities, I met so many businessmen, I met so many CEOs that would never give you their time. It's impossible for you to actually get an appointment with them. But working on the field, gate crashing their offices, was a brilliant experience. At the same time, I met people who were really down to earth. I met people who were from a very humble background. I met people, though they were so humble, they were not very economically sound, but the way they treat us, the way they respect us, the way they interact with us is magical, is beautiful. At the same time, it really opened my eyes because we always feel that the customer is someone who has money. Right? But honestly, working on the field really gave me an experience where the customer is not someone who is always cash rich, but the customer is someone who has a heart for the product that you're selling. And that was a true eye-opener. If you're a sales guy, do not target someone who's rich, target someone who likes your product, and he's going to make a customer for you. Right? And so I'm not going to go on with my long story, because I'm sure that's not something you're watching this video for. I'm straight away going to jump to what is the importance of working on the field in today's generation, in today's field of business. So in the first section, we are going to be focusing on what are the mechanical skills you learn by working on the field. Skill number 1 is your presentation skills. Now, presentation skills are one of the most important skills for you to possess in today's world. Whatever you're doing, whether you're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a CA, you're a sales guy, whoever you are, you have to present yourself in the best possible way for you to be noticed and for you to be excelling in your art. Your personal ability to do really well in your profession, it really counts a lot, no doubt about it, but the way you present yourself and the way you market yourself is one of the most important things for your growth and for your success. Number 2 we are going to be checking out are negotiation skills. Negotiation skills are one of the most important set of skills for an entrepreneur, for a businessman, and probably whatever trade you're in, because negotiations are a daily part of our life. If you are an employee and you want a promotion, you're going to negotiate it with your HR, you're going to negotiate it with your boss. If you're a businessman, you're going to negotiate deals with other businessmen, you're going to negotiate deals with your suppliers, you're going to negotiate deals with your clients, you're going to negotiate with your workforce. Right? Negotiation is a usual part of our life and a very, very important one. And if you're good at this skill, you're really saving a lot of money. That means you're making a lot of money. Right? At point number 3, we're going to be checking out sales. Sales skills are one of the most important tools for everybody, no matter what is your profession, no matter what field you are a part of. You have to be a good sales guy. Sales is a very misinterpreted word in today's world. Usually when people hear the word sales, they think it's about taking money and giving a product. But that's really not a sale. That is a transaction. A transaction is a result of a sale. Sales skills, in simple words, a sale. If I'm good at sales, that means I'm good at making you do what I want you to do. And that is a very powerful skill for anybody to possess, right? And that's what you learn by working on the field. Let's check out point number 4. Point number 4 is consumer behavior. Now, consumer behavior is one of the most delicate pieces of information you need to possess. The reason why today most startups take anywhere between 5 to 7 years to break even is only because they depend on some statistics, certain surveys, and certain sets of numbers to understand the behavior of their consumer. But if you really want to break even fast, and if you really want to crack the code and get your product out there in the market, you've got to personally step into the market, understand the needs of your consumer, understand what makes your customer say yes, understand what makes your customer say no. And once you get this knowledge personally with your experience, you will be in a much better position to strategize for your company's growth and company success. We just checked out the 4 mechanical skills we learned by working on the field. The next section we are going to be focusing on are what are the 4 ways our mentality develops by working on the field. And let's check out point number 1, which is the never give up attitude. Now, working on the field is not the easiest thing for us to do. When I was working on the field, I'll tell you about my experience. I used to approach approximately 100 people in a day, out of which 97 rejected me. Only 3 people bought from me on a given day. And I did this activity for approximately 500 days, which means there were 48,500 people who rejected me, and there were only 1,500 people who bought from me. What did that do to me after 500 days? After 500 days, I was immune to the word no. And before I stepped on the field, I could not hear a no. I was stubborn. I could not hear a no. I would not take no for an answer. I would want what I want. Honestly, I was not the most matured person. I was immature. Working on the field really taught me a lot about how human life is. Human life always will have more no's than yeses in your life. The yeses that we do get, we must cherish them and make the most out of them. The no's that we get only make us stronger, and that's something I learned from the field. And today, after having so much body of work behind me, I'm immune to the word no. I'm immune to any challenge. You throw a challenge at me and I will conquer it. Right? And that's not only me, that's basically everybody who works on the field does gain this ability, does gain this attitude. And I'm sure you want to have the never giving up attitude, spend 500 days on the field, and then let's see how your life changes. Check out point number 2, which is patience. Now, when I was working on the field, like I said, approximately out of 50,000 people, only 1,500 bought from me, and 48,000 people rejected me. Now, what did that teach me? That taught me how to be patient, because I was getting only 3 customers for 100 people. I had to be patient. Which one would be my customer? Would it be the 20th guy? Would it be the 40th guy? Would it be the 50th guy? It could be anybody out of the 100 people I meet. So I had to be patient. Some customers reject you in a very sweet way, some reject you in a very abusive way. As somebody who's in the service sector, you have to understand customer is the king. You cannot lose your patience when you're in front of the customer. And that's something that I personally learned from the field. Patience is a skill which I not only use in my business, but I also use it as a human being. Patience really makes you a better human being. And it's something that you really need to possess to have good relationships, to basically not only with your staff, not only with your customers, but also in your day-to-day life with your friends, with your family. Losing patience can really hamper our relationships, can really hamper our personal or business productivity. At the same time, when we lack patience, what happens is we end up making wrong decisions. Right? Lack of patience is the key factor in making wrong decisions. And that's why you need to understand as an entrepreneur that when we put in effort, the result doesn't come on the spot. We have to wait for the result to follow us. The effort we put has to be continuous. I was pitching every customer with the most enthusiastic smile, with the best pitch, and the most energetic, charismatic character I could possess. I didn't know he's going to buy from me or not, but I had to give my best 100 times a day. But 3 people would buy from me, 97 would still reject me. And that's where I understood the importance of patience in our day-to-day life. Now, third point that we're going to be checking out is your business acumen. By working on the field, you really understand a great deal about business, because you might not be an entrepreneur, but everybody who works on the field deals with entrepreneurs. Now, when I was working on the field myself, I was talking to approximately 70 to 80 businessmen every day. Each one of them had a different conversation with me. What did that do to me? That basically taught me business. I don't have a formal MBA degree, but at the same time, you put an MBA in front of me and I'll outsmart him. That's only because I've spent more hours on the field than the hours he spent in his classroom. And I've had a real practical experience dealing with businessmen, negotiating with them and understanding their requirements, of telling them what I require and cracking a deal which suits them and me at the same time. And that's what I'm talking about, making your business better. If you really want to understand how to make your business and how to take your profitability to the next level, you need to build a better business acumen. You need to make a better strategy. How do you make a better strategy? By working on the field and understanding what is your customer's requirement, by taking that requirement and taking it to your research and development team, making a suitable strategy, and then coming up with a similar product that your customer desires. And that cannot come by you reading some book. That has to come from you physically working, talking to people, and understanding the market's requirements in today's world. On point number 4, we are going to be checking out leadership. Now, when I was working on the field, there were a lot of days where I would go and pitch 50 people, 60 people, 70 people, and I would still not crack even a single customer. And not only me, this is the story with almost, I think, everybody, right? Now, if I spent 500 days on the field, there were approximately 300 days where I got my customers in the second half, right? That means I got my customers after pitching 50 people. What did that teach me? Honestly, initially, there were few times where I'd given half of my presentations and I'd yet not got a customer. I was really, really demoralized. I did feel like giving up. Right? Honestly, when I was on the field and when I got rejections with customers who were not so nice, I did feel this is something that I'm really not good at, and this is something that is not meant for me. And I'm sure you think like that as well. A lot of people think like that. People do think like that, and some people are so drastic they end up giving up. They actually end up giving up their career and they honestly switch to something which is easier and honestly not that worthwhile. Right? But a lot of times people are also there who don't give up. There are people who wake the leader up within them and who go out and continue. And that's something that happened to me. I was always somebody who was not very enthusiastic to work on the field. But there were a couple of days where, in spite of pitching 60 people, 70 people, and not having a customer, I was still very, very charged up. I was still very excited. Why? Because honestly, I never thought I could do it. I never thought I can go so far with so many rejections and at the same time have a smile on my face. The fact that I was able to do it, I started enjoying it. Right? And the next day, the day after that, and the day after that, it really didn't bother when I got my customers. That if I got my customers in the first 10 people or in the last 10 people, I was really energetic. right? And this is a story of not only me, but every sales guy who didn't give up with his rejections. This is a story of every leader who didn't give up when his people didn't listen to him. This is a story of every leader who didn't give up with the challenges that were thrown to him. Because if you feel you're a leader and you haven't faced any challenge in your life, you really need to consider who you are. And if you are a leader who's faced a lot of challenges in their life, be proud of yourself. If you're somebody who's faced a lot of challenges in their life and you've yet not given up, you are a leader. Congratulate yourself. In the last section, we checked out 4 ways working on the field really helps develop our mentality. Now let's check out what are the 3 soft skills we gain by working on the field. Number 1 is your communication skills. Now, when you are working on the field, you're really interacting with real-time people. You're interacting with real-time customers who are giving you real-time rejections, and you are in this very moment. You are doing this 20 times a day, 30 times a day, 40 times a day. You're doing this 500 times a week. What happens to you after that? What happens to the experience that you have? What does it result in? When I'm talking to 50 to 60 to 100 people a day, that really makes my communication skills very, very pure. That really gives me a great command over my language. Do you think doing a digital marketing job, working on a laptop is really going to improve my communication skills? Do you really think reading a blog is going to improve my communication skills? Till I don't talk to somebody, how are my communication skills going to improve? Do you think by paying an English tutor, my communication skills are going to increase? Absolutely not. You want to have a good command in your language. You want to be a good presenter. Start working on the field. Start talking to the customers yourself. Start talking to people who are the stakeholders in your company. Talk to your supplier yourself. Talk to the customer yourself. Talk to your staff yourself. Talk to the local authorities yourself. Talk to the investors yourself. Talk to everybody yourself. Right? And that's when you will interact more on a day-to-day basis, and that is what will improve your communication skills. Do not hide in a cabin. Do not hide behind a desktop. Do not hide on a cubicle, right? Because this is not really going to take you very far. You want to be successful, you want to be growing, then be out there, be a part of the action, right? Let's check out point number 2, which is your personality. Now, honestly, your personality really enhances is because you meet so many influential people. When you are talking to a CEO of a blue chip company, or you are talking to a CEO of a very, very well-funded startup, you have to upgrade yourself. Even if you are not good enough, because you have a meeting aligned with someone like this, you have to upgrade yourself. You're forced to upgrade yourself by nature. Right? I was not the best spoken guy. I was not the best looking guy. I was not somebody who was very, very confident, honestly. But because I worked on the field, I had to meet people that even the biggest journalist would not really get time with. Right? I get crashed such people's offices. What did that do to me? When they were sitting in front of me, I had 2 options. I would just stay quiet and blank out, or I had to improve my personality. I had to improve my confidence and give them a sharp pitch. When I did this regularly, when these situations came to me regularly, what happened? On a day-to-day basis, my personality kept enhancing. And if you're a sales guy, and if you basically have witnessed this, then put a comment down and give me a thumbs up. And if you really want to be somebody who's improving their personality, and you really feel that you are somebody who's paying a lot of money to these tutors, who's paying a lot of money to personality development courses, you're doing some e-course which is bullshitting you about improving your personality, I would suggest take up a field job. Take up a job that involves you talking to a lot of people on a day-to-day basis, and see the magic only in 5 to 6 months. Alright, the next point that I'm going to share with you is your confidence. Right? Like I said, all these 3 things are interconnected. If you have good communication skills, your personality does enhance. And with having a good persona, with having a good body language, what happens is you automatically have a better confidence. You automatically talk to people with more confidence. You have more self-esteem. You know you're good. When you are talking to somebody and you look at them in the eye, you know you are better than them. You know you worked harder than them. You know you have more skills than them. And that is what increases your confidence. And that is what happens when you talk to a mass group of people, and when you can look into each one of their eyes and you know you are a harder working man than them. That gives you more confidence. Working on the field really gives me a lot of self-esteem, because I know what I do is not easy. And I know the person sitting in front of me cannot do what I do. If he can, my respects for him. If he can't, now let's check out how does working on the field help us network with people, right? Let's check out point number 1, which is our investors. Now, I'll tell you a real-time experience that I faced. When I was working on the field, there were so many people that I pitched and who were very, very influential. Every time they asked me, who do you work for? Honestly, every time they asked me, which company are you working for? How much are they paying you? And they really didn't know I was running my own startup and I was trying to build my own startup. And I always told them that I'm an entrepreneur who's working for himself and I really don't work for somebody, right? And a lot of times, 3 people who I met on the field have agreed to invest in my company just because they were impressed by the way I approached them, they were impressed by the way I pitched them, they were impressed by what I was doing, and they really were impressed by the fact that I wasn't the one hiding in my office, I was the one out there on the field trying to build my company, trying to build my brand. And I really met 3 of my investors on the field, right? The next thing that I want to share with you is your partners. A lot of times, like your investors who were impressed by you, a lot of times you might come across people who really want to do business with you because you're so good. They might make you a partner in their company because they've not really seen someone like you. And this is something I'm also telling you from personal experience. Is because I've met a lot of people who were in a phase of setting up their business, in a phase where they were struggling with some aspects of the business. And when I was actually out there to sell something, I was actually out there as a sales guy selling a service. But when I was sitting with a customer, when I was sitting with my customers on a regular basis, and when I see them struggling with some aspect of the business that I have a solution to, I really help them. And this ability that I had honestly helped me gain one business partner, right? I was approached by this man who I made a sale to approximately 2 months back, and he offered me to be a partner in his business simply because he wanted someone who really doesn't mind working on the field to be his partner. Today, everybody our age, like I said, escapes from field work, escapes from working on the field because it deals with a lot of rejections, it deals with a lot of physical work. And today, as a generation, I would really say we are people who prefer working less and earning more, right? But the rules of life really defy that. For certain years of your life, you really have to put in a lot of hard work. After that, once you have a business acumen, can you work smart? A lot of times we have, I've met youngsters who really want to start working smart from the first day of their careers. Honestly, that really doesn't happen. You've got to first put in hard work, and then once you have the experience and the right mindset and the knowledge of your industry, that's when you can work smart. The next point I'd like to share with you is point number 3, which is local authorities. Now, we all understand the importance of having a good relationship with your local authorities to run a smooth business, right? But how are you going to get in touch with the local authorities if you're going to just sit back in the office, if you're just going to be behind the laptop trying to increase your productivity and not step out in the field? Now, the only time you're going to meet the local authorities are when they come to your office and raid your office. And if you don't want that to happen, step out on the field, understand who are the local authorities who matter to your business, build a good relationship with them personally. Let them see the good work that you're doing, let them see that your intentions are good, let them see that you are helping their state and their city and their surroundings, and that is when you will have a very, very smooth way of running your business. Your business will run in a very smooth way without any hindrance from the local authorities. Let's check out point number 4, which is your future clients. Now, building up a clientele, building up a good base of clients is one of the biggest challenges we face as entrepreneurs in the starting years of our company. And this is not only a problem in India, but it's a global problem, right? And what we basically need to do here is give our clients more trust, give our clients more confidence that we can do something. But if we are hiding in our offices and we are letting somebody else from our company represent our company, that's really not going to happen really well. If you want to build a clientele, you need to step out on the field. You need to be the one representing your company to your clients. You need to be the one representing what you and your company are capable of to various people. Everyone's not going to believe in you. Everyone's not going to think you're good enough. But even if out of 20 people you pitch, even if 3 people believe in you, you have 3 clients to your name. Those 3 clients will lead another 3 clients to come onto your clientele. And this is how you are going to go from one city to multiple cities, one country to multiple countries. This is the way you increase your business. You don't increase your business by sitting in the office and hiring a business development manager and asking him to do your work. You really want to build a business? Step out of your office, step out of your cabin, be on the field, regardless of whether it's raining, whether it's hot, and build your own clientele. In the last section, we checked out what are the 4 ways you network through working on the field. Now, the last section of my topic this is specifically for entrepreneurs. This is specifically for business owners. How does going out on the field really help you? Now, if you're a businessman, the first thing you need to understand is when you go out on the field, you get a very, very true feedback about your company, about your client, about your people, about how good you are. Honestly, when I have a company which has approximately 60 to 65 people on the field every day, but when I step out on the field myself, I really understand how good those people are. When I talk to the customers and they tell me someone from your organization has already pitched us, right? My job is not to go out and make a sale. My job is to understand how good was the guy who pitched this customer. Was he good? Does he need improvement? How good is my product? Right? If I really need a true feedback about how good I am, it's not my profit figures that tell me, it's my customer on the field that tells me. It's my time that I spend on the field, and I get a very true feedback about how good is my sales force, how good is my product, and what are the changes that my product or my sales force needs. Let's check out point number 2, which is goodwill. Now, goodwill is something that you can really enhance once you have a feedback. Once you've gotten a true feedback about your sales force, about your product, you can then enhance your product, you can enhance your sales force, and therefore enhancing the goodwill of your company, right? And that's why, guys, stepping out on the field as an entrepreneur is very, very important. Please do not think of it as an unglamorous activity. Feel proud to be on the field because you are doing it for yourself. You're not doing it because you need to. You are doing it so that you should never need to. Let's get point number 3, which is your market. Now, if you really want to understand your market better, you really want to make better strategies, you want to make sure that the strategies that you implement are directly impacting the customer, then you need to enter the market yourself. You need to be a part of the R&D team. You can't rely on certain statistics, on numbers to tell you what your market wants. You need to personally go there, interact with customers, interact with your suppliers, interact with your clients, and understand how can you improve the market, how can you as an entrepreneur make a difference to the market. The next point let's check out, which is training. Now, when I step out on the field, it really helps me train my sales force in a much better way myself. I can rely on a sales trainer to train my workforce, but the best results will only be gotten by you as an entrepreneur when you are training your sales force yourself, because the vision you have for your company, the vision you have for your product is only transferable by you. You cannot have a sales trainer transfer your vision into your sales force. You as an entrepreneur should be training your sales force yourself on the field if you really want to have a strong customer base. If you really want to improve your goodwill, you want to improve your customer service, you want your customers to be retained, ensure that you are putting in time and training your sales force on the field. Right? Let's check out the next aspect, which is opportunity. This is the last aspect of the video, and I think this is gonna be your next big move. Like I said, I've met a lot of my future clients, a lot of my investors on the field, and that is what I'm talking about, are the opportunities that come your way when you're on the field. You really don't know who's looking at you. You really don't know who's impressed by you. You might be pitching person A, but person B might be scouting for somebody, and he might just scout for you. And that's why you have to spend more time on the field where you are making the money. You're not making the money sitting in your office. You're making the money by being out there, understanding the market, training your sales force, learning more about your market, making your product better, and that is the overall benefits that we gain by stepping out on the field and not lazing around in our offices. I hope this video was very, very helpful to each one of you, and please share this with everybody who you feel will gain from this. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.
Thunder, thunder, thunder.